Hari Om. Hari Om. There we are again. At the foot of Arunachala. Coming together from all over the place. So it is already recording. Let's start. Is there anybody who would like to start our conversation? Come in, please. Oh my, oh my. I see Brian is here. It must be, it's 2:30 in the morning in your place and you're still here.
Yeah.
Hello, Brian.
Yes, I've been waiting for your satsang since 1 a.m. here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And in the morning you're starting, Sudha told me you're starting in a retreat with Zen.
Yes, this morning I think I'm gonna have this Zen Buddhist retreat today from 9 to 4 p.m. today through Zoom. Yeah.
Starting only at 9 o'clock.
Yes.
So you can rest a little bit in between.
Yes, I think so.
Sudha told me you are having 42 centigrades there in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's during daytime, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's even higher.
Yeah. It's hotter than here.
Yes, of course.
But everything is air conditioned there, huh?
Yes, it's a central AC. That means it cools entire house, not just one area. So it's good. Yeah.
All the shops, all the cars, everything is cooled, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about something maybe more different?
You know, okay. So basically, let me know other people. I just came back to the States last week on Saturday. So I was in India for 1 year. And most of the people that I have met in India, they told me, oh, when you go back home or when you go back to your place, you're gonna miss Arunachala or Ramana Ashram or this. But somehow, when I was there until last week, I felt like I was maxed out on my practice. And I came here, I don't know, I don't feel much about India. It's so strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's no problem at all. Hey, Brian, you are all in the dark. We hardly can see you.
Let me move to my.
Yes. Now that's much better.
Yeah.
No, that's perfectly all right. It's not that you have to artificially create some kind of emotional thing or emotional distress. If you feel at ease, at peace with yourself where you are, then that's perfect. Don't you worry about not feeling homesick to be here or something.
So my question also is, let's say, we stay in some place for a while and we practice, then we maxed out maybe. I mean, have you ever experienced you maxed out when you're in cave after some time?
What did you mean? Maxed?
Maxed out means, you practice and somehow you find yourself, you're not going anywhere.
Oh, I
No
see.
more improvements. Yes.
Right. I mean, throughout the years, even before the cave, I was not doing much else but sitting and had always the feeling time and again something must be wrong, something is no good, I'm not getting anywhere. But fortunately, when it was getting too worse, I had always Amma there that would come and say, come on, don't talk nonsense. You may think you are stuck in the same place, but it's only a weakness of the mind. In reality, you keep going on and on and on. I can see so perfectly that everything keeps on developing in the good direction. So that was very inspiring and helpful.
I see.
But
Yeah.
you felt like this here, and now when you come back, you felt, something is happening.
You know, somehow energy-wise, I feel something different here. I'm very energized. I don't know why, because maybe it's a new environment. But somehow, even though it's basically it's 2 something or 3 in the morning here, but I'm pretty much every day, I'm pretty well energized. I don't have to sleep much. I've been doing a lot of meditations, and the quality of meditation seems very good. It's like different than when I was in theater. It was the silence is very deep, and I'm very surprised. I don't know what's going on.
So it was the right thing to do, to go there.
I think so.
For the time being.
Yes.
But you can also feel the difference now being there and prior to your Indian trip.
Yes, I tried to, the transition was very good. I felt like when I came back, I felt like I was here yesterday. So there was no gap between, this 1 year. And also, this is my first time being in Las Vegas in August and September. So yeah, it's great. I don't know. It's just, and I'm trying to find and try to feel what I have learned or what have I changed since I spent 1 year in India. So that's what I'm trying to focus on.
Yeah.
Small self changes. Yes.
You say you're doing a lot of meditation and it feels very good. So you still can see a difference from the time before you went to India.
Yes.
Yes. Even when in India you started to feel you're not getting anywhere, it seems all the same something was happening here.
Maybe you're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely, I feel lots of difference here. Yes, quality-wise.
Yeah. Right. Good. Good. I'm very happy to hear. It's good that you are good.
Thanks, Werner. Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to tell something?
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Sridev.
I have a question.
You are welcome.
So, since the day you told me to relax in the sense of presence,
yes,
during my meditation there is more spaciousness and sometimes limitless, and it happened sometime a click that everything that I was feeling outside, for example, a sound or a sensation, happened inside. So I would like to know, is it a good way to explore, or is it still a trick of the mind, or is it still an experience?
It's still an experience, but you can still explore.
Okay.
The more you feel that basically everything is inside, eventually the whole notion of inside and outside is not more so strong. Then actually, ultimately, there is no inside or outside. But as long as we are identifying with this manifestation, with this form, then we feel everything is outside. And if you start to feel so that connection and you feel, oh no, it's inside, then in a way you're getting a step closer to realizing that actually there is no inside and outside. So you can very well explore like this. Yeah. You don't have to go and look and seek it and look for it, but when it's happening, then you can let it very well be there and sort of encourage.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Werner.
Hi. Oh, Sarika, I didn't recognize you.
Yeah, because I have sunglasses on. I'm at the river.
Yeah, yeah.
Today is Ganesh birthday.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask about the subject obstacles. In which way it is meant that it is a removal of obstacles. I thought or I heard that actually because he's a god, he's the all-knower, he actually wants to make one aware that there are no obstacles. Is it like that? And yeah.
The last sentence I didn't understand. There is a lot of interference on your side. Are you having strong wind?
A little bit, yes. I'm trying to talk into it.
Maybe
Yeah,
also your microphone was simply rubbing on your body.
Yeah, it could be.
But now it's better.
Okay. Yeah, the question was if Ganesha or the teachings from the gods and the Vedanta and all that it just means that to realize that there are no obstacles. So how is it meant that the Ganesha is a removal of obstacles?
Actually, according to the tradition, Ganesha is the master of obstacles. And sometimes he removes them, but sometimes he puts them in the way. He's doing both. So the Indians, the Hindus think you are very well advised to be in good terms with Ganesha, that he rather removes your obstacles than he puts obstacles in your way.
Yeah.
I mean, if a whole large group of people believe that and worship a god like this, then this god does really exist. Then
yes.
Right.
I also have the feeling, yeah.
At the same time, there are aspects of what is happening in ourselves, that we have all that capacity, we have all that quality, that we have maybe our basic destiny, our basic karma, which is a whole cloud that is hanging there, things bound to happen, but not written in stone. And according to how we are dealing with our moment from moment experience, there we are rather inviting more obstacles than removing.
Yes.
So that's basically what Ganesha is doing. In a way, then if people like to externalize things and see, okay, there is a God and you have to please the God. That means you have to please yourself. You have to behave in a way that you are not always thinking you are doing the wrong thing, you are thinking the wrong thing, you are feeling the wrong thing, because otherwise you are inviting difficulties in your life. And with the God is the same thing. If you rather think of a God, then you also think you should behave in a way that God is happy with you.
Well, okay, I don't think like that. Yeah. but I just see that it's for me it's a very joyous God symbol somehow,
Right.
and I'm chanting, and I'm doing now also Ganesha mantra. I did for some time, and I do more also body exercise. I found a really nice program for myself,
Yeah.
which leads me to, after that, sitting down and being really quiet. It's really lovely, and in combination then also with chanting and Ganesha chanting is it's really like the light is entering, or I don't know, I'm getting aware of the light,
Nice.
and that's really nice. And yeah, if I meet people who, I don't know, just in the middle of something, I just can't see it. I mean, I just will see when something hits me again.
Yeah.
But it's really, it's wonderful to, yeah, to be aware of the light that's really here. Yeah, I also started doing this 5 Tibetan exercises
Ah,
just
yeah.
because you once said you did it. I thought, okay, if Werner did it, I have to try it. And but I really love it more than doing yoga. I mean, it is a kind of yoga,
Yeah.
but it's fantastic, and I really do it every day.
It's energizing. It's nice.
It is, yeah, and it makes then the quietness more, how to say, accessible, or yeah.
Right. If they feel convenient, for some people they don't work because somehow they are a bit too hard. But you
Yeah.
can yourself do it rather softly or hard. It's always how we are.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you feel that attraction to Ganesha, then, as I said, Ganesha is an aspect of yourself. But if you feel through the form inspired to connect with that luminous, joyous, actually, he's funny. Ganesha is funny.
Right. Yeah.
If that
That's
funny aspect of yourself, then wonderful. Whatever helps, whatever works, is good.
yeah. But my question is the really uh, what are obstacles? Are there really obstacles, or is this? I don't know how to put the question. Isn't it really all just man-made, or like made in the mind? Because if there's a situation that's not fine, it's I mean, yeah, obstacle in a way of problem, you know, because people make a problem of obstacles, but obstacles are is normal. If I walk on the street and there is a car, there's an obstacle, I have to go around it or watch out. But the real obstacle is the thing we make in the mind, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, as long as you are living in this world, then there are always obstacles. But how we are reacting, that makes them to seem very big or not so big. But it also has a reaction how we are dealing with the present situation, whether you are inviting more troubles. And I mean,
Right.
it's good to be open that even if troubles come, even if difficult situations come, that you full-heartedly accept that it is as it is and make the best out of it. But we don't have to artificially, unnecessarily make it worse.
Mm.
If we
Right.
learn to be at ease, in harmony, then the tendency is also that external things start to go a bit smoother. Still, sometimes we may need, again, a difficult situation just to have the confrontation, to go deeper, to learn something. And if we then accept it, then it doesn't become such a big thing. The obstacle that is really painful is that we are having the tendency, if it's against our idea how it should be, against our idea what is pleasant, then immediately the tendency is there to block and say, no, 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 it shouldn't be like this. And then it's becoming big.
Right.
Right.
And the last question on that subject, isn't it also that if we look into the obstacles or problems and like really don't fight with it, but like you say, also relax and see deeper what's behind, that it is all somehow a way to come, yeah, to remember who I am and to open up more for love, for realizing the love, the oneness. Isn't it the reason why there are obstacles or problems?
Yes, it's part of it. It's certainly one way we are learning and getting stronger by facing difficult situations. And the more we are capable then, in spite of that, to rest in harmony, to rest centered, the more we are growing from it. Learning,
The
more we are growing.
growing, okay.
Yeah, growing, outgrowing certain situations by facing them and dealing with them harmoniously. So it's not wrong that we have sometimes difficult situations to face. It's no point then thinking, what did I do wrong? I'm getting punished or something like that. It's more, it's not a punishment, it's a challenge. A challenge,
Yeah.
okay, learn something, grow again, go beyond it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful, all the swans are swimming behind your head. Yeah.
I know, yes, there are, because there are people next to me, they feeding them, and
Are you on a boat?
no, it's how to say, no, like a little island thing, also
But it's
made of.
Yeah.
It's not. It's made out of concrete, and it's just put here.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, thank you very much, Werner.
You're welcome. Have a good time there. Enjoy
I
the
do.
sun and the water.
Yeah, thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Okay. Anybody who would like to come in, you're welcome.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Werner. It's Kirsten from Copenhagen.
Yes. Hello, Kirsten.
Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I have a question.
Good to see you.
I have a question, but I think I have to talk myself a little bit into it. It's about the guru-disciple relationship.
Yeah.
And for the first, I would say almost like 30 years or maybe 20 years of what I would call my conscious spiritual search.
Yeah.
I was very clear that I didn't want like a guru relationship.
Yeah.
And I think it was of fear of all the projection, because I could feel in myself this huge need of acknowledgement.
Yeah.
To be acknowledged. And you have been talking about it many times when people ask about their relationship to Amma.
Yeah.
And actually in the 90s, I was in the Shivananda ashram in Neyadam. So we were quite in the vicinity of the Amma ashram. So there was some kind of exchange, some people coming from there and some people going from the ashram to her ashram. And I just remember in those days, and I also went to see Amma in Trivandrum, I just couldn't connect with this kind of surrender and devotion.
Yeah.
And I was very much like a hatha yogi, you know. Yeah. I have my practice.
Right.
It all has to come from inside myself.
Right.
Now I'm a little bit more relaxed about that whole thing. But I still have this, you know, from the satsangs with you, what happened when I'm in the satsang, I very much reflect on actually what is holding me back, what is my obstacles in the mind. and I keep on coming to this huge need for acknowledgement, and somehow that's standing in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you could talk a little bit about it in the relationship to surrender to a teacher. And I know you say, you know, some people don't need a teacher. For some people, it's very good. For some people, it's necessary. So it's a subject you touch on many times.
Anyhow, you have mentioned a few times now that you need acknowledgement.
Yes.
And I mean, you say this now in the context of talking about the teacher-disciple relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But don't think when you go to a teacher and you are with a guru that you are just getting acknowledgement all the time. You may get,
Exactly. Yeah.
You may get the opposite a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of critic.
Mm.
But this is just a situation that is anyhow like this in the world. With the guru, things that are happening in this world are often just a bit more concentrated. You may get a lot of support and encouragement, but you may also get a lot of criticism pointing out things that in a way you know, but it's not so clear, and then the guru may put it into your conscious awareness. Hey, there is something to work on, and there, of course, the one has to learn not to react and think, why are they criticizing me?
Mm.
But accept, okay, after all, I'm here for that. That's why I enter a guru-shishya relationship, that with the faith that the guru may have a clearer perception what's going on and can point out things that are better to be worked on, because they are obstacles and we may not even be aware that they are there. For that, it's very helpful to be with a teacher, but it has to come really from the heart. It's not that one day you just can decide, okay, I think most probably it would be better to have a teacher, and then try to find a teacher and try to artificially develop some kind of devotion to that teacher. It really must come, that longing from the heart. Oh, I would like to be close to somebody who can somehow support me and direct me. And then have also the acceptance, okay, I in a way give over, at least temporary, the power to decide whether I want to do this or whether I want to do that. And that is not so easy. It really must come out of a deep longing that I want to go as fast as possible on this way. And with that longing comes also the openness that I'm connecting with somebody of whom I have the faith they just see better than I.
Mm.
It's not something that we have to work out in our head and then think, okay, most probably it would be better, and then you try to do it. You can still connect from a certain distance without totally going for it. You still may get a lot of directions, a lot of support. But you mentioned surrender, to really surrender, that means for some time you just give up, in a way, your right to decide now what you want to do and what you don't want to do. The guru, of course, will not really act against your natural tendencies, but the guru may sometimes shock you by stopping you of something you would like to do, because it's not necessary to go down that alley and have all these kind of experiences again. That you could spend your time more concentrated going to the left instead of to the right. So to surrender to a guru is not simply an idea one has that because it sounds good, but it really means to be ready to let, in a way, that being take control, with the faith that that being is not misusing that for own personal purposes, but only for my best. If that faith is not there, then it's not possible. But you can have also with a teacher quite a strong relationship, just connecting again and again, and in that way get a lot of pointers, a lot of directions, a lot of directives, and a lot of support without really having to go all the way to the step that you want to surrender to that teacher. And if in course of the process you're getting closer and closer to that, and that need comes, then somehow it will happen all by itself. It's not something that you can just in the mind make up and then think, well, it would be good. Many now with that, in the beginning we were only a few people with Amma, and so that was quite a different situation. But now with that huge story she has created, she has so many devotees, they have a sincere connection with her, but still they are not in the situation that sort of Amma has taken over their life. But just because of being connected, they feel an extra support, more confidence that the things are going the way they should go. And even if we don't like them, then that connection still will be helping them to somehow more courageously deal with them. So you can have a very strong relationship with a teacher without going into that whole thing of now I'm going and surrender to that guru.
Yeah, I think for me it's a process, because the first many years my teacher was and still is in the spirit world, not in the body anymore.
Yeah.
And then I think around 20 years ago I met Thich Nhat Hanh, and that has been a amazing. The word inspiration is too small. But now he's in Vietnam, and so it's almost also like he's not in the body, and he's in the transition. Yeah. And anyway, already when I came to Plum Village, there was a quite big crowd around him. So it was not that close relationship, but the feeling of being very connected to a teacher that I could really trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Amma came to Copenhagen first time 2 years ago, and also last year in October. And I could feel a big change from when I saw her in Trivandrum, in my own, you can say, ability to let go of that whole idea of, people are just letting go of themselves. They don't know all this kind of judgmental thinking about people who are going in another way than I was. So I feel I'm in a process with it.
Yeah. That's good. Let it grow and develop naturally. Yeah. It's not that you have to have ideas, oh, I should make it differently, then it would be better for my spiritual development.
No.
You go ahead, that it resonates in your heart, that you are okay with how you are moving, and then that's the good way.
Yeah. Thank you, Werner.
You're welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to say something? Then in with the same context, in that context, with the same subject, young man from Argentina has asked me, can I say something how to be more regular or continuous in the practice, or generally with one's interest? And I think he means the interest in getting deeper, in liberating oneself. There is not a magic trick that I can give and say, if you do like this and do like that, then it will go smoothly and your practice will go on regularly without a problem. Basically, in order that we are motivated to go for the practice and to be interested in liberating ourselves, we need to observe what's going on in our life, observe how we are feeling, how we are experiencing, how we are acting, how we are reacting. And invariably we start to become aware. The more I'm at ease, at peace, the more I'm in harmony with what comes really from the deep inner sense of being. And the more I'm getting into troubles, the more I'm suffering, the more it's because I'm acting and reacting from a mental level, from a habitual level, totally identified with the me, I, the person, separate from the whole rest of existence. And if we are observing that sincerely, we're becoming more and more aware. Hey, whenever I'm getting pulled in that me, I fixation with very, very important, then I'm asking for trouble. And if we are really fed up with suffering and decide, no, I don't want to suffer. I don't need to suffer. Suffering is not necessary. Suffering is not natural. Our natural state is to be at ease, at peace, joyous, in a living joyousness that is simply there as an aspect of existence. If we start to sincerely observe, not once in a while, but more and more, whatever we are doing, whatever we are busy with, then more and more it's crystallizing itself out. Hey, if you want to make an end to that unnecessary suffering, then it's better to be interested in it. Then it's better to like not to suffer. Then it's better to really want to be in our natural state of being joyous, of being alive, of being creative, of letting that happiness of existence flow out of ourselves. And if that interest is there, then that interest in means that helps us to overcome the old obstacles is there. And one way of helping that is to have a regular practice. It's not that our practice is there in order to build something up that we finally get the reward for it. it does build up energy, and if you are building up energy, it's easier to have a clarity, to see things clearer, to see things more from a detached and neutral standpoint than from the me perspective. But practice is just a means to bring the attention to the present and abide in that silence of existence as good as we can. And then in that situation, we become more aware how the attention is pulled away, how it is going down the old grooves, repeating itself over and over and over and creating the same kind of unnecessary tension and pain. In the situation of practicing, you are more alert, and in that increased alertness, it's easier to detect those traits that have the tendency to pull the attention away from that sense of being connected and more into the sense of being me separate. And the more we are in that experience of I am separate, the more we are asking for pain, because from that standpoint, we like so many things and we dislike so many things, and so much of the time it doesn't work out the way I would like it. Then I resist and I'm in pain. It's better to have a relative gentle program, not to force oneself to practice too much and on, and after some time one gets so fed up with it that we throw it all away, and for a long time we don't want to have anything to do with it. It's better to have a basic program, a program that we can easily do without forcing ourselves. A little bit of a push is no harm, but each one has to find out for themselves how much is natural. Then have that basic program that even in periods where you don't feel like practicing, that you still can do that much. And then you can still let it be alive in the sense that if you have more time, if you have more inspiration, that you increase it. And if you have less time and less inspiration, that you reduce it again, but try then to keep your basic program. The longer you do that, the easier it is to just stay with that. And then it's certainly helpful in between to have more intense periods, maybe go for a retreat for some time, and then come back to our normal life with the profession, within the family, with the relationship, or whatever, and bring that new inspiration, that new enthusiasm in that normal life situation, and learn to be as alert, more and more as alert when we are not officially practicing. Then everything becomes practice, no matter what we are doing. So just try to be regular with your basic program. And there you can push yourself a bit when the day comes and no, I don't want, then yeah, come on, do at least that much. But then let the rest unfold as it comes naturally. Sometimes you feel more like practicing and you just do it, and sometimes you feel less and you reduce it, and it's fine. Just try to keep that constant that is simply there. Sometimes it's very easy, and sometimes it needs a little bit of self-discipline. Okay, as long as we are not stuffing too much in that basic program, then it's not a problem. Simply if we force ourselves beyond what feels really natural and healthy, then after some time we may have such a strong reaction that we just stop it all again. I don't want to have anything to do with it. It's good if we can become more playful in our practice, but we also that don't take it so serious. If it goes easier and smooth, fine, wonderful, great joy in it. And if there is a period where it's not going so easy, where it's going like it's always hooking left and right into everything and that wants to hold us back, then okay, then there is a period where it's not so pleasant, so what? If we then continue, then that passes again, and gradually it becomes more and more possible to go about it with a joyous spirit, with a playful spirit. If that is there, it's getting easier and easier. Okay, I hope this question is answered for you, my friend in Argentina. Is there anybody else who would like to tell something? Please come in if you feel like.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Victor.
How are you?
Oh, good, good.
I always enjoy listening. I've been thinking about this spiritual quest, this spiritual world, and these energy feelings. And I guess to go back a bit, I started my journey in yoga with studying the Satyananda tradition.
Satyananda.
Yeah,
Disciple of Shivananda of Rishikesh. Huh?
that's right. Yeah.
Right.
And in some of the meditation practices through all these meditation of the tantras, there was so many meditation practices. And I remember at the time when I was studying Satyananda yoga,
Yeah.
you know, I'd be reading some of the dharana practices, and Niranjanan would say, you know, if the concentration is broken, the meditation is over, and give it up, and blah, blah, blah. And I always felt uncomfortable with all of that. In fact, I felt I wasn't getting anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Not good enough, you know. But a part of me sensed that some of these practices were like, I'm trying to get somewhere. I've got to reach some level of concentration in order to then get to dhyan, and then after dhyan, and then there's more and more and more. And I was thinking, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't share it with anybody because I didn't want to get into any sort of philosophical arguments about it, but I felt uncomfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came across Ramana, and
Yeah.
shed a completely different light on it for me.
Yeah.
So I spent 6 sleepless months planning my first trip to Tiru.
Yeah.
A few years ago. And I got to Tiru, and it was really nice, and people were going, oh, you got to go to Virupaksha, it's such a powerful place. And I said, yeah, okay. And I went to Virupaksha, and the place was packed.
Yeah.
And I never felt any energy. There was no power I felt. In fact, on reflection, I felt Maya stronger there than anywhere else, actually, inside Virupaksha. So I had a chuckle to myself about that. And I came back to Australia, and I continued struggling with meditation practices because somewhere in the back of my mind, or the way I was trained, I thought I had to get somewhere. And I sort of tried to practice some of the Ramana stuff as well, and settling down. And I decided to go back to Tiruvannamalai, not because of practices, but to walk around Arunachala. And so I sort of powered around the mountain every single day that I was there, which was great. And then I met Brian. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you. Because Brian was the guy who told me about you.
Uh-huh.
And it was on my last week in Tiruvannamalai that I came to see you at, we had a meditation and satsang session at your place.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. It stuck with me because it made sense to me what you were saying. I did not find any struggle in that. when, you know, just even listening to you when you say breathe and relax. And so the meditation practices have just been that.
Yeah.
And it's just a joyousness of the space of just being there.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. And this last week I decided I'm going to start running, because I haven't ran for years. I did walk a lot, but I didn't run for years. And I started running, and on the second day, my legs were so sore. I could hardly run. And then I remembered your words, breathe and relax. So I breathed. On the out breath, I relaxed. And before I knew it, I was just running. My legs were killing me, but my mind was nowhere near my legs.
Yeah.
And it was just a breathe and relax. I felt like I was just floating on air.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share that with you, because it's a contrast of having a yoga training, you know, this feeling of seeking something. And really it was, even today, you know, my wife and I went for a run together around the bay, and it was just beautiful. It was just being in that place, just breathing and relaxing. And there was nothing to get. There was no spiritual experience, nothing, but it was just this joy of just being aware of floating through space and just being in that present moment. And just what I took with me out of that today, this evening, was just feeling the sense of just presence, just being in the place and just going with it. And I think that this is one of the greatest teachings I've come across, and for me, because I experienced it. And so I thank you for that. And I thank you for that because I've experienced it, so I know it resonates within me really strongly.
That's great. It's not because there is something especially big about this teaching. It's just because of what you have been doing before. You were getting ready to get just the push to sort of let go somehow.
Yes.
And this did the thing.
Yes, there is. And so I don't get caught up. I don't really get caught up in that. In fact, I don't even know what spirituality actually means, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is being spiritual. I just don't understand, frankly. I wish I did. A lot of people talk about it. Maybe they do know, but I really wouldn't have a clue.
Anyhow,
you know, I feel alive.
You're a conscious living being.
That's it.
Actually, you're joyous, in harmony, at peace. And so don't care about spirituality, just be natural.
That's it. Breathe and relax.
Breathe and relax. Breathe and relax.
That goes with me everywhere.
That's great. That's great. It doesn't function for everybody, but if that you feel that response and it's coming so easy, it's so simple and it's very efficient.
Yeah, you know what? Because it makes sense to me. For me, things have to make sense.
Yeah.
Not only intellectually, but emotionally and how I feel.
Yeah.
And this resonates, you know, because I actually experience it. And to me, that makes it real. The experience is what makes it real. And so then I don't struggle anymore with it, which is really good.
Good, great. Continue like this. Still,
thank you.
You can give your poor legs a little time that they get used to running again.
well, actually,
not overdo
it. No. Hey, listen, I just go for 3 or 4 kilometers, you know, and just go for a nice gentle jog. It's just being in the space.
Yeah.
Floating. Anyway, thank you so much. Om Namah Shivaya.
You're welcome. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Is there anybody who would like to talk?
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Vivian.
Hello. Thank you very much for the satsang.
You're welcome.
I have a question. because I'm observing myself how I am with other people.
Yeah.
And for me, it's every time when I'm with someone else, I'm kind of acting in a different way. So it's not possible for me to stay just present and aware without reacting.
Yeah.
And I've heard it, I think it's from Buddhist teachings. I've heard that the quieter that you get inside, the more you're actually acting as a mirror for others.
Yeah.
And I don't really know if this is something which is happening, or if because I feel resistance, because I don't always want to feel or behave. If someone, like, I can be very quiet, I can meet someone, we can sit down, and this person is in a hurry. And then I'm kind of also starting to breathe like very like shallow, and when I feel it, I can sometimes move out of it and get back, but very often it's just how then we are together like this, and then I go away and I'm normal again, and I don't really know what to do about it.
Yeah. It's normal. I mean, if two people come together in the same room, immediately there is an energetic change there. If you are alone in a room, then it's your energy. If another person comes there, immediately there is an adjustment of energy. If a third person comes, it's a new adjustment. And we are influencing each other very strongly. Now, the teaching that the more you become quiet, the more you become a mirror, that doesn't mean that after that you are sucked into their energy stream necessarily, but rather you learn to be centered in your own relaxedness and peacefulness in spite of all the energy that they bring. But still, it's nothing wrong reacting different to different people. Sometimes people have a wrong notion because they say once you get spiritually evolved, you should treat everybody the same. But no, of course not. You treat everybody spontaneously according to the need of the situation, which is very different. It's a difference whether you are centered and you are conscious, or whether you are, without being quite aware, getting more and more sucked into their energy. But like if somebody is in tension, naturally, you will also feel in your body a bit these tensions there. But then when you see it, you can relax that, and then it's not sucking you more and more into that.
So the problem is my resistance. So when I feel where the energetic things are in the other person and I try to get rid of it, this is what keeps it staying.
Right, you don't have to fight against it. You can accept, okay, momentarily it has an effect in my body, in my energy. It may not be so pleasant, but then the resistance against that is creating more troubles. Instead of, okay, that's how it is, and you relax, then it may still be there, but it rather is fading away, and your own inner strength is manifesting again more. And actually the other person also is getting more influence from that. But it's a process. It's not that you can decide from now on, I'm going to do that like this, and then it's going to work all the time. Often we are totally sucked into it without having a clue, and then suddenly become aware, and there we can start to work on it. But it's a good idea to think that if the situation comes, then work on not resisting. Use your energy better in being centered and relaxed than resisting against the fact of the situation. Even if you feel in your body unpleasant echoes of what is going on around you, so what? It's a moment, an unpleasant moment, so what? It comes, it goes, it doesn't leave a trace.
Yeah, but actually not leaving a trace. I mean, I feel that often when I meet people and they're drinking alcohol. I don't drink, but yesterday I met friends and they were just not a lot, but they were drinking, and their consciousness was just kind of blurry and heavy, and I could feel how they feel.
Yeah.
And yesterday it wasn't so bad, but I already had it that I was physically hungover after being with people that drank alcohol. So I took it even for the next day. I was so surprised what happens, because I also get the feeling like physically that I'm kind of drunk.
Yeah, right.
And this is something I really don't want. It's for me, this is kind of, I lose control. I don't like that. I like to be open and clear.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Right. It happens more if you struggle with it.
Yeah.
If you accept to be in that company, then basically you accept already to be in their energy. Then you can accept what energy you are getting, but the more you are capable of centering and relaxing, the more you become transparent. And actually it is going, and the more you are struggling with it, the more you are creating walls that something is sticking, to the point that you after that maybe hangover, even without drinking a glass of alcohol. But the more you become transparent, the more it just goes through you. But sometimes it's also possible that even if you are quite relaxed, you still have quite something in your psychophysical system after you leaving that company. But there you can again work on it by just when you walk home, or when you are at home, when you walk, or when you sit, that you there are conscious of it. And instead of thinking, shit, I don't like it, I don't want it, then okay, it's there, and there you relax. And then it starts to go out. It goes out of your head, it goes really out of your body within short time, whatever is still stuck there. But if
so
you,
it is only stuck because I have a reaction towards it.
I mean, if it's very strong, then there may be an echo for some time, even if you are not reacting strongly. But then being aware of it, and you take some time for you alone, without, if possible, without interacting too much with other people, or if you have to interact, and after that, take some time alone where you can relax, no matter whether you just gently walk or whether you sit, but you feel what's going on, what is still there. And instead of again resisting and think it shouldn't be, I shouldn't have it, it shouldn't be like this, then okay, it's there, and relax. Then it very quickly goes.
Okay.
And the more you feel, your capacity keeps on increasing all the time. That's what we're here for. We are growing, we are learning, and you can take more and more and let it go immediately. And even if you keep some, then if you consciously work like this, it's getting easier and easier then after that to let that go out of your system.
Yes.
But if you struggle with it and go like this to sleep, then it's easily possible the next morning you are angry.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, it's actually yesterday, maybe because I also shared with someone that I'm having this struggle, because I want to be, I don't want to avoid certain kind of companies, and I don't want to avoid certain places, and I want to, I mean, this is what most people do here. I mean, not that they would get drunk, but it's just,
just
a lot
normal.
of,
that's
it's
society, everybody.
Yeah, and if I want to be a little bit a part of it, like concerning old friends and families, then I want to be able to participate with everyone without, I mean, it's not even that I would judge it, but it's for me difficult because I want to be clear, and I lose control if I'm with certain people. But it's getting better.
Right. And a little bit of judgmental ideas may still be there, and it's better if they are lingering also to give that up, to accept people really the way they are. I mean, if they come and ask for your ideas and advice about it. You can freely say what you think is good and what is not so good, but otherwise you just fully accept them the way they are.
Yeah.
The more that judgmentality is there, the more it's difficult then to also to relax and accept situations, because then it comes always nagging in, they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that, they shouldn't be like
But that's why I also want to participate, and I don't want to be like, oh no, you're going out and you're having a glass of alcohol, then I don't come. So I whatever they do, I want to fully accept how they work and function.
Yeah, I think that's good. But you can learn more and more to be in the midst of it and not getting affected, or even if you get affected, that it's easier and easier that it simply goes through and you let it go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Is there anybody who would right now like to come in?
Hello, Werner.
There is Klaus. Hello.
Hi. I was just during these conversations now and early in the talk, I was getting more aware of a pattern or a bigger question that's been going on. So I wanted to bring it up so you can help me to shed some light on this. Because I think I've just seen there's been a duality between the life where I feel I really can develop spiritually and be in an environment where I can just relax into it and really go for it. So I feel like in this part of life where I'm now, I'm just trying to put things together so I can go on that travel, you know, so it's like I'm building up the economy and building up everything so I can like maybe go for a year to India or like let go of this old world, you know. And it's getting clear. So I see also that maybe it's a bit of escapism in that.
Oof. Thinking that you want to do right now, that after that, whatever you need to do, that after that you have the freedom to do something else.
Yeah, and go more, maybe to go deeper into spirituality and like really deepen into it and finally drop the suffering, you know.
And where do you see the escapism?
That I'm avoiding situations here, that I'm not fully embracing the situations that is giving to me here in this place, and that I'm running away from something in myself that I'm not confronting here that I should look at.
You, in other words, that you should stick it out there and not go to other places in between.
Or, I don't know.
So, we are escaping if we are not taking the trouble to be alert what we are doing. No matter whether you stick it out in your usual place or whether you go somewhere else. You are escaping if you keep your mind busy totally with superficialities, forgetting to be aware and observe what it is doing to you, what is happening in your experience right now. So it's not a question of staying in one place or not staying in one place, or doing this kind of work or not doing this kind of work. If your life is like this, and right now nobody knows where is going, who is going to travel where in the very near future. But don't unnecessarily burden yourself with stuff like this. Just if you have now the opportunity to make some money, and in the future situation you have the opportunity because of that money that you made, that you can follow a desire to go to India or to go somewhere where you feel you can more be quiet, then that's perfectly all right. It's always a question whether we make use of the situation or not. If we just go and are lazy and don't take the trouble to be observative, then of course it's an escape, but it's most of the time the bigger escape to just be in a daily professional life and not want to think anything beyond just what the little petty problems that are coming along with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like I'm back in my hometown and I've been out for many years, and there's this feeling of not like really fitting in, and I don't know if it's if it's only in my mind or if it's something else. That also the energetic thing about that it's not the correct place to be.
Try not to let yourself to be pulled down by that. I've been living my whole youth like this. Feeling strange in this bloody world. And as long as I was resisting against that, then I felt lonely. Although it was always easy to have friends, I still felt lonely and not alone, but lonely and not understood, and what, I'm different, I'm not fitting in. But then when I stopped resisting, that feeling that somehow, although being connected with everything, that there you don't necessarily flow with the general current. If you stop resisting against that and think it's nothing wrong, then there's no big deal about it. Then it's not, and it does not need to bring the conclusion that you should change externally. The place, you should change this, you should change that. Because as soon as you get into communities in one way or another, even if they are spiritual communities, that feeling will come again, that you are not fitting in, sooner or later. So never mind. Never mind whether you're fitting in or whether that feeling is there. You can accept, okay, you have your own way to go within this world in a place where many people are functioning quite differently, and that can be quite a good challenge to be, in spite of that, in harmony with them, to learn to understand them and deal with them and accept them the way they are, and still be yourself, not deny what is natural to yourself, to be yourself. It's a bit, again, the same situation that Vivian just talked about, that she doesn't want to just go out of the society, but then she doesn't want to go along with every damn thing that is happening. And so you can learn to be in the midst that and understand that I'm functioning in many ways differently and not make a problem out of it. These kind of things simply become problems if we make them in our mind into problems. That doesn't mean you have to deny and say, no, 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 there is no difference. If you see that there are differences in the way you are feeling and functioning and reacting, then you can also acknowledge them. But then so what? Let there be differences. If we are not resisting against it, then it's not a problem. Then you can playfully play your role within this theater of this world with a lot of other characters that play quite different roles in this theater.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a thought that just keeps the mind going there, that something is wrong or it has to change or a situation is not natural.
Right, and then the mind with the mind we can hook into that and then hold on to that and go round and round with that and make it bigger and bigger, and then it becomes a real life problems. Last time, it's already 10 years ago, last time I went for a visit in Switzerland, I met the brother of a friend. I had met that person before sometimes, and they had been out of Switzerland in another place where it's functioning, where it was functioning quite differently, then came back after maybe 5 years, but he has been back in Switzerland when I met him for years and years and years, but somehow after coming back, that feeling was there. I'm not more fitting in. And he made it in a lifelong problem, that it was waiting on him, that I'm not feeling, I'm not fitting in. Instead of learning to accept that, okay, I have learned some different ways of existing in the other place, and now I'm back in that, and I can bring that into my life and not make a problem out of it. But the mind wanted to hook on to that, and it became a lifelong problem. I hope for him, I haven't seen him now for 10 years, that finally, we were talking about it, but I don't know whether this has done the thing that after that he let it go. Otherwise, he may still hang on to that thing that because I was 5 years out, I didn't fit in anymore, and then it seems to be a big problem.
Yeah, because it comes with a feeling also. It's accompanied by a feeling at the same time. So it's like this energy of this is a waste of time, you know, to be here or to go. So it's about getting away because it's yeah. But I think the feeling is important in this, because that also can make it feel even more truth, that it's a feeling that's accompanied by it.
If you are alert, if you are here, if you are now, there cannot possibly be a waste of time no matter where you are. And if we go half asleep to through our life, no matter where we are, then we are missing a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Ariyo.
Ariyo.
Now is a time there is a lot of insecurity around the globe, because the usual way of day-to-day living has somehow changed drastically for many people. Now, gradually in certain places, it starts to get moving again, and still there is a difference. Actually, it's a great chance for humanity. I don't know, there are so many theories how this virus came about. I guess it's man-made. Maybe some people put it on purpose with bad intentions in circulation. Maybe all these theories are true, but if that was the intention, it has totally backfired, because it did something to humanity. And it's like the forces of the light that are also guiding humanity make use of this COVID situation to change subtly the energy that is there. And it's like we as humanity are at the crossroad. We have a great chance to really shift how society is functioning, how the human life is working. Maybe after some time we just fall back quite in the old tramp, but still something will be lingering. And each one individually can do that. And especially in this time, nobody knows a bit how it's going to go. We cannot make too many plans. There's a lot of insecurity. It's a good possibility to just learn to be in the present and live fully in the now. Aware, the more you are in the now, in the timelessness of the present, the better you bring something beautiful into the current of your own life, and automatically, when you do that, into the current of human life, of humanity. And even now people have been awakened enough by this situation when everything stands still for some time and the usual thing cannot function, that they learn to be more in the present and learn to be more, because many people understood, hey, I live now in spite of not doing my usual things. Actually, they understood, many people understood they were much more alive than in their daily routine, going to work all the time and having the feeling more or less just in the weekend when they are not working that they are living, and the rest of the time they just do their duty. And so a new aspect has a bit opened, and if more and more people could function like this, instead of being worried about this, about that, also worried about not fitting in, also not worried about what people think about me if I'm not doing the usual thing in the usual way, as the neighbors are doing it and as the society has been doing it. If more people function like this, there is right now really a possibility that a much more broad-minded society could emerge from that situation. Whether it's going to happen or not depends on how many people learn to live like this, more in touch with themselves, more in harmony with themselves, more happy with themselves, without having a bad conscience of being happy, without thinking I have to do this and do that and cannot simply be happy. The more this natural happiness is flowing through people, the more it's influencing the society that could emerge from the present situation. So let's not make unnecessarily obstacles in our mind by thinking, is it right what I'm doing? Is it wrong what I'm doing? Should I do that? Should I do this? The place where we are is the right place. And if from there we feel pulled somewhere, to some other place, or to do something else, and it resonates, then it's good. Then let's go for it, without always thinking, is it right? Is it wrong? Should I do something else? Am I escaping? Am I not escaping? Just be here, be now, be natural, be spontaneous. We can plan, nothing wrong. I meet here people a lot that they say they want to be spontaneous, and it's not more possible to make a simple appointment with them because of that. That doesn't mean to be spontaneous. You can very well plan, but still be spontaneous. In your moment-to-moment way of existing, fresh and new and beautiful with every moment. Everyone who functions like this, their life becomes more and more joyous, will be more and more full of light, and they are radiating and influencing others around. If enough people radiate like this, then a new form of society could emerge from this present situation. The possibility is there. To what extent this is going to manifest, it will be seen. It lies with each and every one. It lies with humanity as a whole. Is there anyone who would like to talk something? We have a little more time. It seems not to be the case. So, okay, then we stop the satsang for today. I'm going to stop the recording now.